All right, folks, it's another Friday here. Welcome, good evening, one and all. It's February the 19th, 2021. I'm Citizen Jones. Today on the program, federal government and Niger State open talks with kidnappers of Kagara Schoolchildren, just as Sheikh Gumi demands blanket amnesty for bandits. Governor Akeredolu dissolves cabinet ahead of inauguration for second term in office, and later on, NLC directs workers in 18 states yet to pay minimum wage to embark on a strike. But let's tell you we're hanging out with Tony Waje. I've not seen you, Tony, since this year began.
I think we saw it in January.
Since this year, I don't see
January,
you.
Yeah.
I was going to say happy survivor, but it's all right.
Same to you.
Yeah. Jide, you know, Zebraya said, I have seen 99, who be 100. You know, a man who don't see 99, he no go fear 100.
Yes.
My country don't see 99. We no go fear 100.
But we go see 100, we go see 101.
And we go deal with them.
Yes, sir. That 100, now the bandits be the 100.
You don't count them.
Now the bandits
are they up to 100?
Yes, because now season of banditry now.
Oh, come on. My country has seen 99, who be 100. Welcome, the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, then let's go straight to business. You know, a bandit, according to our unabashed dictionary, is a robber or outlaw who belongs to a gang that operates in an isolated or lawless area. Now, Islamic scholar Sheikh Ahmad Gumi elected to meet with bandits group leader Dogo Gide, I hope I got that right, and his members in the Tegina forest in Niger State. As far as he is concerned, the outlaws were willing to lay down their arms. They want forgiveness. In the meantime, Niger State and the federal government are in talks with kidnappers of the Kagara Schoolchildren on their safe return. State helmsman, that's Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State, has an impassioned plea to make. He also craves amnesty for the bandits. But there's also another word, Jide, like restitution.
But with these people, you are just confused with these guys. And that confusion is beginning to get really evident even in the behaviors of our leaders, where a defense minister feels so thoroughly perplexed about a situation and he urges people to stop being cowardly, to respond to banditry
by defending themselves.
Yes.
You know, I wanted a qualification.
You know, what that tells me is that Magashi is trying to throw out the window the social contract that government has
with the people.
Because it is the responsibility of government to defend, to protect the people. Now, when you leave that responsibility to the people, it means that that social contract, you do not believe in that social contract. You rather have it thrown into the waste bin. And the people do not have the capacity
to do so,
to stand up to these guys. I've challenged people that look, because a lot of the things happening in Niger State, some of us track developments in Niger State. In Niger State, bandits have killed so many vigilante men.
Oh yeah, in the line of duty.
Yes, they try to defend their community, but they get killed. So, if the vigilantes, who are usually armed, routinely fall to the superior firepower of these bandits. So how can the ordinary man stand up to them where you can see clearly that they have GPMG, RPG, and other dangerous weapons? So this is perplexing, but we just have to hope that reasoning will prevail and that we'll find the right strategies to deal with this situation.
Tony, you know, when I started, ordinarily you would laugh. We have seen 99. You know, we don't see 99.9. So now a religious cleric is saying we must begin to think about granting bandits amnesty.
Even a blanket amnesty.
Blanket amnesty.
In quotes, amnesty. I don't know. For me, it tells, it goes to show the quality of leadership or leaders we have in Nigeria today. When people we respect to speak up against what is going on in Nigeria today, and the ones like even encouraging it. I mean, if this is what he says publicly, you can imagine what he preaches.
Yeah.
It's so sad, and the fact that this same person in question, Sheikh Gumi, I just make it straight, he's been to Kaduna State, he's been to Zamfara Forest, meeting with bandits, and then he's in Niger today. I was even begging government to grant them what is called blanket.
You know, I'm thinking crazy. I'm thinking like a cynic now. Do you know, I cannot wait for a meeting between him and Shekau. I'm sorry, maybe.
Yeah, because that's okay. Now, the military has been looking for these people. They've been causing mayhem. They've been killing people, destroying lives and property, killing, maiming, and all that. And then now, Gumi suddenly came out. He's now meeting with them.
Tony, that's him on the footage. Yeah.
And he's meeting with them in the forest. What I expected the first time I heard such news was, I said, oh, thank God, at least our military know where they can gather these people.
Yeah.
At least for once. So what Gumi is saying right now, or what's the impression being painted right now, is that we know our problem. We know our problem. We don't have the political will to solve
deal with it.
We have the solution. We know how to tackle it. Every day you're meeting with them, even meeting with them with guns and all manner of weapons. Sometimes you see the military moping. The governor of Katsina State once met with them. And then when you see governors too, governor of Zamfara State, now governor of Niger State, all supporting, it's like there's something the rest of the country doesn't know yet. There is something we don't know. That they are privy to, we don't know.
Okay.
Because it's simple. How can you suddenly start saying, merely thinking about it, saying we should grant amnesty? And I heard Gumi was saying the other day, after all, they gave the Niger Delta militants oil pipeline protection contracts. It's simple. But the question I want to ask, who offended these so-called bandits? How did they come about?
Tony, they are not so-called.
They are bandits. So where do they come from? What is the offense the states committed against them? Because what he's saying is that they are product of violence. And now they are taking arms up, taking arms against the states.
Okay.
So we want to know what actually the problem is. Who offended them in the first place? So is it a country, Nigeria is not a country where you reward criminality?
Don't lose your cool. At the hangout, ours is to mold opinion, Jide. So when it gets to a stage like this, obviously, they say if a man has done his best, what next to do is what is necessary.
Yes. The bandits complained. A lot of them were used to own cattle. This whole thing, they were pushed to the wall by consistent cattle rustling.
Okay.
Government was not there for them. Now, they decided to acquire weapons to be able to stand up to the rustlers.
Okay, that's the primary aim.
Yes.
Face
That's
them.
how they began
Face
to
the
acquire
enemy.
weapons. Yes, because government was not
Okay.
able to stop the cattle rustling from taking place. Now, they also complained that a lot of their men were being arbitrarily arrested by policemen and soldiers who then extorted money from them. So they got angry and decided that, well, they were going to avenge some of these things.
What the term?
Yes, against the security agents and
of the state.
Yes, and the rustlers, the people who are rustling their cattle. But from then on, they sensed that they had acquired so much powers that they could then do other things. It's like somebody trying his hands at kidnapping, and he suddenly sees that this is a piece of business with fantastic profit margin. You shoot
a lot less bullets, but you make so much money.
Sometimes you don't even fire a shot.
And you make much money.
Sometimes you don't even fire a shot, and you can make 100 million. Look at Wadume, the one who was arrested in Taraba State.
Yeah.
It was 125 million that he got from an individual. The 100 million was not enough for him. He emptied the man's account, took more. He got the man's BVN, took all his money.
Wadume, as a
allegedly with the connivance of an army officer.
Okay.
You see? So,
Jide, you have not told me that Wadume's cows were stolen.
No. Wadume was not originally a herdsman. You know, we are talking about this whole banditry that we are talking about. We are talking about these bandits, the ones in the northwest,
why they have become this violent.
Central. I'm giving you the background, how it all began. And they told the governor of Katsina their story. The governor then moved ahead to help them secure the release of some of their men in detention. You know, and then Katsina had peace for some time. But because the adjoining states
had peace for some time. No, wait, until when?
For years. They had peace for years. But because the adjoining states that also had bandits,
Kaduna,
Kano, Zamfara,
you
know, even Sokoto, because those ones didn't have the amnesty program. Some of those guys now streamed into Katsina, and the amnesty program in Katsina collapsed. Because for some time, there was peace.
Okay.
You know, there was peace. So the whole thing collapsed. Kano too gave amnesty to bandits. But since they gave amnesty to bandits, we have not had any issue. In fact, the Fagore forest where they used to operate, keep the rustled cattle, that is where the governor now wants to set up a big ranch. And he said, you come from any part of the north, if you, with your cattle, we have a ranch that we are building. So this is the thing, the background that I gave you, but they've moved to something else now, having seen that it's so lucrative to simply kidnap people and get government and its agents to pay so much in form of ransom. How do we then stop this thing from spreading and spreading? How do we guarantee? Shegumi was saying, look, that let's give blanket amnesty. If anyone now continues to kidnap people, then we'll deal with that person. But they have many groups.
Yes.
To get every one of them to think in the same way, it's impossible.
It's like when you put, Tony, when you pour water for a polythene bag, we get many holes. You plug this one, the other one comes open. Who do you deal with? Now, Governor Sani Bello had said last year, no mercy for amnesty. No amnesty for. But now we have changed the music. So where does this leave us?
It leaves us nowhere. It leaves us nowhere.
Because I'm thinking of amnesty in the Niger Delta. Of course, the militants had, you could say, arguably, a mission. They had a reason for going.
Exactly.
How do you explain banditry?
That's what I'm saying. I said, these bandits, what is the offense the state committed against them? Who offended them? I asked that question earlier. What's the root cause of the problem? Like Jesus said, their cattle, people rustle their cattle, steal their cattle and all that. That's not enough reason for you to go and arm yourself with AK-47 arms, which is illegal in unconstitutional form. Otherwise, all of us will start bearing arms.
Tony, the guy who masterminded the Kagara Schoolchildren's kidnap said he took the action for government daring them, because government dared them.
That's what I'm saying. Took action against the state.
Oh boy.
That someone should be on trial.
Yes, and they're not faceless. These are people we know. They are not faceless. That is exactly the problem I have. It's that we are glossing over it. We're glossing over this issue. And the consequences is that more groups are going to emerge. You give this one tomorrow, you grant them amnesty. Does it guarantee?
Look at this man. You grab this man. You grab him, rather than make him pay for his crimes, you are negotiating with him.
I don't know what we intend to achieve.
You are left with no option.
What do we do? What are we doing?
There's no option.
What are we doing?
How do you secure the release of these children?
Wait, you're going to just Tony,
look at this man in your picture. You negotiate with him.
No, let's if we say we don't want to negotiate now, how do we secure the release of these children? Because we have an obligation to their parents and to those kids to get them out. But what do we then do?
See, for me, first and foremost, like this one, I heard they came on bikes.
Oh yeah,
some of them tracked down here.
Yeah,
in a village, even if it's kind of remote village that you don't see people.
And they had long minutes. They had long minutes.
Enough time. And you have military, then you have the police, except these are ungoverned spaces. But if there are,
that area, 80%,
so how can they take their time?
See, 80% of that local government, 80% of that local government is in the hands of the bandits. You see, sometimes when we talk about these things, they think, it does not like the armed forces. They control that area. Most of the attacks in Niger State have happened in Rafi local government, and Kagara is the headquarters, and Shiroro. They control the area. People hardly drive around in those places anymore. So in areas that they are in control of, I'm sure you heard the former chief of army staff say there are so many ungoverned spaces. Yes. What's the meaning of ungoverned spaces? Ungoverned spaces mean places that you don't have presence of the police, presence of the army. That's what it means. And this area is like that.
Sorry, I have a gentleman is joining us from Canada. Good evening to you, sir. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Welcome.
I just wanted to contribute to the program, especially regarding the security that has been happening. I've been here in Canada for 5 years, and I started to take a tally. By the way, I used to be in the military. I started from Nigerian military school at a very young age of 11. I started to take a tally of daily deaths in Nigeria. I don't miss your program. I don't miss other channels. I got to a point about 2 years of counting deaths in Nigeria, preventable deaths. It became exhausting. I had to stop.
Yeah.
I'm also a public health. I have public health background. The issues regarding security happening in Nigeria are completely preventable. We have no reason for making any excuses to what's happening.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you very kindly. He's used, Tony Jide, he's used the operative word, preventable.
Yes.
Preventable.
Yes.
Yeah.
We knew that place was terrible, that those guys were operating with reckless abandon there, yet we allowed the school to be in session. We allowed the boarding house, even in that decrepit school, we allowed the boarding house to be open to students. So why would, and the place no perimeter fencing? So why are we surprised that this happened?
Again,
we shouldn't be surprised.
Again, I said at the beginning, it bears repeating here, we have seen 99. Make we not see more, I beg. We go to our next story. In representative democracy, cabinet stability is a desideratum. That's a must. And so a cabinet is the engine room for any government. Ahead of his February 24th second term inauguration, Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State has dissolved the cabinet This event took place during a valedictory section of the Executive Council on Thursday. But let's share the story of the cabinet dissolution by our correspondent, Ayodeji Moradeyo. Let's watch this.
It is the last State Executive Council meeting in the first term of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu as the Ondo State's ends-man. The council meeting, which was a validatory session for the cabinet members, was attended by all the outgoing commissioners, special advisors, the State Elder Service, the Chief of Staff to the Governor, and the Secretary to the State Government. After 4 years of impactful and resourceful contributions to the governance of the state, it was time for the council members to bow out of office in a blaze of glory and billows of appreciation. It was indeed a historic time for these commissioners who are privileged to render services to the state under the leadership of Arakunrin Akeredolu, whose first term as governor of the Sunshine State will come to an end on the 23rd of February.
And when you called me and said, can I work with you? I said, yes, I can work with you.
It's time for everything. Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1.
One after the other, the outgoing commissioners thanked the governor for the opportunity given them to serve the people of the state. From the recently appointed commissioners to the old ones, they all took turns to commend the governor for his uncommon drive, tenacity of purpose, and commitment to development of the state.
I am a beneficiary of your benevolence and your dispassionate care. I thank you, I thank God for what you have done in my life. I was depressed politically, on the path to political oblivion. You never knew me from Adams. And you said, Donald, come back. I remember that day, around 10:40 in the night, 1st of May 2019, when I was still nursing my loss.
I want to thank you profoundly for finding a space for me to serve the good people of Ondo State. You put me in a critical ministry where even men even fear. They don't like, many even fear to be in that area, that arena. Look at the 36 states of the Federation, maybe, hardly can you count 5 places where women have made the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. Chieftaincy Affairs are critical issues.
For all the achievements that have been recorded in the past 4 years, and as one of your disciples, I will proudly wear the badge of our achievement across the nation with a deep sense of gratitude.
The thing that I've noticed about the governor, like he tells you when he does a road, don't praise me, he has always done what he's elected to do. But his courage is something else. And because I also worked closely with him before he became governor, I am able to relate with what he does now as governor and the persona of Rotimi Akeredolu.
For some members of the Executive Council, Governor Akeredolu is like a father to them. They describe him as a man who has brought good governance to the doorsteps of the downtrodden.
I want to thank you for believing in entrepreneurship. Sir, if you are not aware, many leaders across the world are still slacking back when it comes to this vision. And from the beginning, I remember the first time we met you, everybody on my team was like, this man is humble and is a visionary. You have shown that you have seen where the world is going.
Outperformed my own expectation. I don't know about the others that were in the business then. I knew you were going to perform, but that God was going to use you massively to do the great wonders that He has used you to do in Ondo State today. I must confess that I didn't anticipate it. There's a popular term that says that God works in mysterious ways. His wonders to perform.
I'll ever be grateful to you for giving me that opportunity, for giving me the opportunity to add value. The Yes, I thank God. I thank you, sir. And I want to pray for you, sir, for your children, that wherever they go on the face of the earth, men will favor them.
Our chairman is someone that forgives easily. And if he forgives you, he never look back. He judges people by what he does. And he's the type of person that doesn't think about the wrong you've done. He weighs both the right and the wrong you've done.
The State Head of Service, Dari Aragbaye, and the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Bengali, also spoke glowingly about the Governor.
Many things happened because Mr. Governor allowed the civil service to be. We are recording all of this and will be publishing them from time to time. Once again, sir, on behalf of the entire civil service, on behalf of myself, on behalf of my family, I want to thank you and to wish you well in your second term. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
An old man, that is the commander of Amatekun Corps. When you wanted to do it, I said, sir, why don't you get another person? Would they not say it's another woman? You said you are convinced that you will do the job. Otherwise, do you want to convince us that you knew what you were doing because of the achievements that you have recorded in this short time? So I thank you for all this, sir, and I pray that God will continue to guide you. Thank you, sir.
While thanking the outgoing cabinet members, the Governor acknowledged their selfless service and dedication to the vision of making the state an enviable one in a journey that began 4 years ago.
I've known many of you for long. Some I got to know when I came into politics. Like Benga, you said, and him, when I was commissioner here, he was PA to Daniel Ojo, and finance was under Ministry of Justice. So we always meet. I've known him. And I can say it, that I've known the head of service longer than him. Because the head of service happened to be a junior brother to a friend.
Thereafter, the Governor dissolved the cabinet.
Inauguration. This Executive Council stands officially dissolved.
This was followed by a photograph session by the former cabinet members.
What I've said about my colleagues is that it is clear Akeredolu cannot do everything. Akeredolu could have been everywhere. So they played their role and they have played it very well. Whatever achievement that is we have achieved in these last 4 years, the credit goes to them.
The dissolution of the cabinet is coming on the eve of expiration of the first tenure of the Governor, who will be inaugurated another 4-year term in a week from now. Ayodeji Moradeyo, TVC News, Akure.
All right, folks, now you know journalist hangout is a place to be. Come advertise your goods, your services here. You are home and dry. Let's quickly go back to Ondo State. The gentleman, Arakunrin Akeredolu, is known fondly as Aketi, you know.
Yes.
And I hear Sena from college. But Jide, a cabinet has done well, in the words of the governor. Yeah. So you're looking at the cabinet as a band of musicians who play tunes that are not discordant. And you dissolve the cabinet. Sometimes in Nigeria, the more things change, the more they remain the same.
Yeah. Yes,
this band should be.
Some things will definitely remain the same.
Okay.
For the good of everyone. Some things will not remain the same.
Okay.
I'm sure that Governor Akeredolu will sleep over his first 4 years in office and identify the stars in his cabinet who should work with him in the course of his second term. The governor has done well, especially in the area of infrastructure, in spite of the paucity of funds. And when you look back at how some roads used to be, Okeala Bojuto, for example, in Ikare, By the way, that's the hometown of my in-laws, so I'm particularly...
you had to rub it in.
Yes. Anybody wey wan vex, make you vex.
No be from here. No, go on.
Bojuto, the governor had to construct that road. So many lives had been lost on that road.
But you know, so the road is so unwinding. I don't know.
Yes, yes. That's why, you know, the nature of that road was what
is it the topography or okay.
Hilly, I know the topography, basically. But the governor had to give them a good road, and the people are happy. Then, of course, the dual carriageway from Akure to Oda, the dual carriageway. That one, they've not finished that one now, but they are working on it. It's done well in the area of infrastructure, and there's even job creation. I went to Omotosho myself to see the partnership between the state government and the Chinese farm. They call it Ondo Lane.
Okay.
Jobs have been created there. You have the ethanol plant. You have a place where they make plywood. You have where they are sewing dresses. You know, people didn't know that industrial hub was there until they saw that story. And of course, when the governor looks back, he would probably thank himself or congratulate himself for some of the good choices that he made
in terms of cabinet members and so on.
In terms of the cabinet, the special advisor on infrastructure is SSG, is commissioner for information, our younger brother, who has handled the image of the governor very well. He's very responsible. He knows when to call his colleagues to say, gentlemen, please help calm things down.
Yeah.
Aketi by nature, he's an abrasive character. He's restless. He speaks his mind all the time. He doesn't talk like a politician.
Does not suffer fools gladly.
No, that's not his nature. You know, he doesn't talk like a politician. He speaks his mind, and sometimes that can put you in trouble in the kind of politics that we play.
Yeah.
You must say certain things and not say some things. But that's not his nature. So for someone to manage that person, you know that it's not easy. Aides, it must be tough for his aides to manage that kind of, because it can be really unpredictable. You know, and very unconventional. But I want to believe that in the course of the second term, the experience that I had garnered will help him a lot. I expect that in terms of security, he will continue to work hard, because towards the end of this first term, many things happened that we are not happy about. The killing of the first-class chief, which prompted him to take some drastic measures. He has to continue to keep the state safe. And then, of course, the issue of Ondo State's the seaport, the dry seaport, the deep seaport that Ondo State is planning to do in Araromi. You know, that's the deepest.
What I'm saying here, vehicles, transportation and all that.
Yes. You know, so if he can deliver that seaport, it will help the south-south, it will help the southwest. And 30 meters.
We will relieve Lagos.
Yes, and at 30 meters, that's the deepest point in the whole of West Africa.
Oh, really?
So he needs to work hard in that area. But he had a good team, and I'm sure he will be able to keep some of the stars of his team.
Tony, and a team we are told is as good as the captain. So, but let's digress a little. If number one is not doing well, as a member of cabinet, don't you feel up to saying, Oga, I'm not saying go on TV, you know, in your quiet moments. But politicians here hardly do it.
They can't do that now. It depends.
It will be apolitical.
It will be highly apolitical. And it depends too on the nature of the appointment. How they got the appointment. Some of them are vocal. Some of them actually, when President Obasanjo was there then as the president, some ministers were working to him. But at the end of the day, it's either it takes those advice or... So some of them have, they have guts. But it's essentially, when the leadership has a vision, knows where it's headed, and the key members of the cabinet or members of the cabinet are in sync with the vision of the governor. It makes the job easy.
Yeah.
It makes the job. I think that's what those state governor.
You just talked about former president.
Yes.
I don't know how you reacted when he said to his advisors, "You may advise me. I have a choice of taking your advice." And so things like that were not good for.
It's not good for governance,
for harmony and so on.
It's not good for. But that tells you again the kind of leaders we have most times. And I can equally tell you that I'm not sure you can tell that to most members of this cabinet. There are some that are highly respected.
Okay.
And it depends on the quality of the advice you're given to.
Yes.
At times it's a turn off.
No, you can't even take every advice.
Yes, they can't
Some
take every
will
advice.
come up with an advice
that doesn't make
based
sense.
on selfish reasons.
Oh yeah.
So the leader has to. Why do we sometimes say that the president has been misled or someone is? It's because the president has to sit down and even process the advice that's been given. Sometimes people don't mean well. You have to be, some things will happen and then you say, but why did I even do this? And then you remember the person who misled you. So Obasanjo was right when he said, well, you are my advisors, it's my obligation. I have the right to take the advice or not take it. Yes, because at the end of the day, who do we blame?
The box up on the table,
It's still the president that we blame when things go wrong.
Because his table is the melting pot.
Yes.
All right, then we'll go to our next story. But then not before telling Arakuri Rotimi Akeredolu.
He's one of the best governors.
We wish you well.
Yeah.
I remember Moteku.
He's the governor general.
What he wants.
He's the leader of the Southwest governors, and he's provided leadership. See the way he went to your state to try to calm things down, to help the governor that's there. He's going to have a busy second term, and he has said that he's going to work even harder during the second term. Most governors don't do very well during their second term. But let us see if...
This is not saying that he won't bother about who succeeds him. That's another...
Yeah, he spoke of the cause. Yeah, exactly.
Okay then, last story for the evening. Organized labor in our jurisdiction has become synonymous with industrial actions and more work to rule. The labor body has directed workers in 18 unnamed states of the Federation to proceed on a strike action without recourse to the headquarters once it is not satisfied with the speed of negotiation over the 30,000 naira minimum wage. Some states that are yet to comply, interestingly, Jide Tony, include my Akwa Ibom, their Taraba, their Anambra, Tunis Delta, and Ebonyi and so on. So what is this deliberate, Tony? Is this deliberate?
For me, it's deliberate.
Oh, really?
It's deliberate for how many years now? What is minimum wage? How much are we talking about here? 30,000 naira? First and foremost, if a governor is saying he cannot afford to pay minimum wage, the question you should ask yourself, what do you have around you that you can actually look at, first and foremost, to prune down the cost of governance from within your own space? We can see all these things every day. Before I will tell you, for instance, we go maybe at a restaurant, I want to eat, and I tell you I don't have money. They watch me, and I declare a big bowl of food with drinks and assorted. And I'm telling you, please, use your belt to tie your stomach. Things are hard. We must show leadership by example. When things are not good, the people will know, because when things were good, you took care of them. But when it's all the time stories of, what is minimum wage, for crying out loud? How much is electricity bill? How much do you use? A lot of things to service oneself in Nigeria compared to the minimum wage you receive on a daily basis. Is it transportation cost? Hospital bills? School fees and all that. So,
money for AIDS.
I was coming there. When you talk about AIDS, you see some governors will tell you
AIDS money. AIDS money is not be minimum wage.
It's not minimum wage. It's not. Of course, it's above minimum wage. And you have at times you have thousands of them across the local government, in these states, and you cannot pay workers 30,000 naira monthly, and you're paying at least from 100,000, and you have over 8,000 of them. You're building houses across the globe. You're buying. You have houses across the, practically in all states of the federation as a governor. So then how do you expect to believe that your state is facing paucity of funds? That's why I said it's deliberate, because we are not showing example. There are ways. Every day we go to Abuja, and these monies are shared, and corruption will not even allow us. This is a fact. How can you tell me that year in, year out, you're giving your citizens excuses, and you're not putting down your own cost of maintenance? You see, flour brought to me. No, it's not.
When we hear say your delta, no, they take last. Sometimes I'm always tempted to ask, which time will I take first? You know.
They don't take first many times.
Until now.
In sports.
Okay.
Now. Bender used to dominate national sports festival. So when they created Delta out of Bender, somehow Delta 2 began dominating.
When it comes to sports, though,
dominating sports in our country. The truth is, I don't know why governors are not thinking this way. It's a constitutional obligation to pay the minimum wage. When you choose not to pay, you are infringing on the Constitution. The Constitution says that every 5 years there will be a new minimum wage. We have not amended that portion of the Constitution, which means that by this year, a new minimum wage should have been. It has taken us
2015,
yes,
last time.
A new minimum wage will be due this year. A new minimum wage will be due this year. This is 2021. Goodluck Jonathan gave us a minimum wage in 2011, if you remember. So 2011 at 5 years, 2016.
Yes.
So we negotiated for years. Now a new minimum wage is even upon us. Yet we've not been able to pay the old one, the last one. How long is it going to take? Look at the way, see how angry NLC is. The NLC said, NEC resolved to view the refusal to pay the new minimum wage by state governments as demanded by the law as an act of criminality, betrayal of the oath of office sworn by these chief executives, and a dangerous adventure in anarchy. You can see anger, demonstrated in those words. Governors must negotiate, because it's not, in most cases, is the consequential increment to other categories of workers that actually pushes the wage bill up. It's not everyone. For example, when you pay the minimum wage, everybody gets something. Whether you are level 17 or level 16, you get something, because as they are pushing those junior workers up, they are adding to yours. So they are adding to yours, yes, on a kind of incremental basis. They are moving you up too. So it pushes the wage bill up. Now, the negotiation with states is not about 30,000. It's about what percentage does this category of workers get.
From levels A to X.
Yes, from level 7 now. Level 7 downwards. They get the minimum wage. Now, from level 7 to, let's say level 17.
Okay.
What percentage do you give? What percentage do you give? That has been a very naughty issue for most states, and that is what is actually making it difficult to put a closure to this issue in different states, because a lot of them too, they are like, oh, it's not the junior workers alone that should experience wage increment, because over the years the senior cadre too had been neglected. So the minimum wage has been an opportunity for them to get something. Now, at this time, even this minimum wage and what labor was able to extract from government has been eroded massively by galloping inflation. You saw the figures that came out the other day. Inflation has eroded everything, yet we are unable to pay. So what really is the issue? And in the midst of this, the NLC is saying, look, you increase fuel prices, you also increase the electricity tariff, and they are saying, look, do something. They want the electricity tariff to go down. They are suggesting to government that the price at which government sells gas to the power plants,
power plants,
the generating plants that are using gas, needs to be reduced so that will percolate down to the ordinary consumer, so that at least the tariff too can come down. So these are the things they are looking for, how they can ease the pain on their members. That's why they're coming up with this demand.
Tony, but we can come from a different tangent now. Let's talk to the Aluta family in Nigeria. Is it all about strikes and more strikes?
Because that's what government listens to.
I don't understand you. I'm not. It's not about your Delta. Your Delta is not a poor state.
Yeah, no, of course.
Good. If labor in Delta takes government to task, money day, blah 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 blah.
Akwa Ibom is richer than Delta now.
Oh, you are making a case for
we mentioned Delta, of course. Yes. So the issue is this, but that most of these labor leaderships across the state,
tell me.
Most of state government. All right, so when it happens like that, how do you think they can negotiate? We know what is going on across the state. In most cases, some states even influence the type of leadership that emerge at the labor centers across the state. Okay. So that's where the problems come from. Yes. Okay. So they cannot stand up to people who made it possible.
He has talked about my Akwa Ibom. It sounds crazy. I can say it on air. Do you know owing retirees is also something more than a pain in the neck?
Wicked.
More than a pain in the neck. Retired teachers
they talked about it too.
So labor, these are the kind of things I expect labor to come. So that the music won't just be strike and strike and strike.
And how do you expect them to? Over time, strike has appeared to be the only language that the people in government understand. If you talk to them with persuasive words, nobody will listen to you. You say, you're holding us minimum wage now. When you going to pay now? My people are hungry, they will not listen to you until they are held by the jugular. Okay. And therefore, that's when you see the minister will call them. Sometimes at the last minute, they get them to stop.
That's Nigeria for you. That's exactly.
Even now, let's even look at the example of academic staff of universities. There's an agreement was reached in 2009. Up till now,
till day after tomorrow,
the critical letters of that agreement have not been implemented. So you now criticize ASU for going on strike, when repeatedly they were reminding them, and they chose not to do something. It is the strike that they appear that appears to get them to do.
So what you're saying
is right.
What you're saying is in these 18 states, we must be ready for another walk to rule.
I don't know. Naturally, they are supposed to give notice.
Yeah,
it's against the labor ordinance to simply proceed on strike. You must serve a notice. Now, I'm not sure that notice has been served. You have to serve a notice that either in form of a warning strike or to simply say, okay, so at so time, if you do not meet our demands, we'll go on a strike. That is what the law prescribes. I'm now aware that any notice has been served to this.
But why I said this, Jide, why I raise this is, most times when the strikes are on, you hear something like, labor will say, okay, after we went into a closed-door meeting, we are back down, blah, blah, blah. And then you still return to square one.
No, you see, that's why government will promise sometimes and refuse to live up to their own side of the bargain. It's government that causes some of these things to happen.
You still blame government.
You don't blame them. When they come to you, you call for a meeting and they say, okay, go back to work. We will address your demands. And you wait and wait for the demands to be addressed. then you are forced to go back on site.
Sorry.
Yeah. So your state, my state.
No, my state.
Your state, my state.
Has started the implementation of the new minimum wage.
That's what
yes.
They don't post them to you now. They do PR for them.
No, I'm reading. States that have commenced the implementation of the new minimum wage are Borno, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Jigawa.
Commenced what?
Commenced the implementation of the new minimum wage.
So that why
Delta is I want to take Delta because I didn't say Akwa Ibom here, so I want to take Delta out of it. Your state, your state. I'm not saying.
I didn't see your state on my list.
No, the Delta is there.
No, Delta.
The resources.
No, maybe it's not full implementation. You can start implementing.
Okay, so it's commenced.
Maybe it's not full
the implementation
until we hear from the labor.
Okay, I think the Nigerian labor
they could still have some areas of disagreement here and there, but I'm sure that this will be resolved.
Well, Aluta community in Nigeria must begin to debrief us. Something new must come. Creativity is the name of the game. Let's change the dance step if the music is becoming monotonous. So
I don't see any other kind of dance step.
I don't know what they can do.
The only thing there is the strike. Because they don't, like Labour today, just called this strike. And I'm even wondering why they took so much time. Yeah, it's like, from 2019
on. They've been talking about this thing, they've been reminding the states to pay.
It's unfair.
They've been reminding them
that's
for months.
That's the only language that we understand. That's the only language.
So let's talk to all the excellencies watching us. Your excellencies, I know they owe you salary. Your aides, they know they owe them. But please pay the workers because it's in your best interest for your workers to smile. I beg, even if brokerage don't come,
No vex.
No, make una no vex.
No vex.
Pay them, I beg. It's possible. Okay, we must pack it all in. Tony, we're asked to fetch yourself this Friday. Go to town, fetch yourself, bring the bill back. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jide, I greet you too. Have a great Friday.
Thank you. Are we going to?
I get our usual.
Are we going to the Kosi?
No, I get our usual this thing for us.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah. Oh, now you know.
As soon as we walk out of here.
Oh, come on. I'll give you. And then the backroom boys are greeting all of you from the control room. We want to thank you. Ours is just to lay it on you. Reach your conclusions after we have provoked the debate. That's it for the week. But if you missed this edition, we're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones. Bye-bye now.